What's up, fight fans? Welcome to Sportskeeda MMA's daily news roundup for March 2nd. Kamaru Usman sung his praises for Jorge Masvidal in a recent interview with ESPN MMA's Megan O'Leary. Usman spoke about his first fight with Masvidal and what surprised him about Masvidal's game. O'Leary would ask him if he felt Colby's wrestling would be the deciding factor in the UFC 272 main event, and Usman had this to say. "No, I don't think so. I think the thing that Jorge does very well is his ability to get back up. And I was actually shocked in my first fight with him, because I'm more of a control guy. And so his ability to get back up a few times let me know that this is something that he's done for a long time." He then offered Colby's perspective. "And I think Covington understands that well as well. And I don't think that's Covington's plan. I don't think his plan is to hold him down. I think his plan is to get a hold of him, drag him down, make him get up, and drag him back down, to eventually wear him out." Usman is the go-to guy for all things Covington and Masvidal because he's earned 2 victories apiece from both fighters. It almost seems like this main event is a trilogy eliminator. But then there's the upcoming fight where fans will see Khamzat Chimaev truly test himself against elite competition in Gilbert Burns. Maybe the UFC will consider that a #1 contender fight, since they might want to present Usman with some new blood. Which fight do you think deserves to be the welterweight title eliminator? Does it depend on how each fight is finished? Leave your thoughts in the comments. This might be a new category of news. Headlines you never thought you'd read. Well, former UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez has been arrested in relation to a San Jose shooting, but the story is even more insane than that. According to details from the Mercury News, Velasquez allegedly fired at a car with 3 individuals inside, one of them being a man who had been accused of molesting one of Velasquez's close relatives. The man in question, Harry Eugene Goulart, is accused of molesting this relative about 100 times and was arraigned last Friday on 1 felony count of a lewd and lascivious act with a child under the age of 14. Cain Velasquez is now being held for attempted murder in Santa Clara County Main Jail without bail, and according to records, Velasquez's arraignment is scheduled for Wednesday. No doubt more details of this shocking revelation will surface as time passes, but one thing's for sure, I think we're gonna see a lot of free Cain hashtags if the allegations are true, and it seems like everyone's favorite psychopath Sean Strickland agrees, and had this to say on Twitter: "If this is true, @CainMMA is a fucking hero, bottom fucking line. There is nothing I respect more than when a man does this. 911 isn't the answer for this. I'll be the first one donating to a GoFundMe for his defense. Pedophiles need to die. They can only be fixed with fire." Do you think Cain Velasquez was in the right? Uncle Dana recently did what he always does best and started promoting a fight that the entire MMA world wants to see. In an interview with TMZ, White spoke on the possibility of a trilogy fight between Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz. He had this to say: "That fight's not done yet. I wouldn't count out Conor and Nate 3. Listen, I'd be shocked if that fight didn't happen again. He's chomping at the bit to come back. Realistically, when you look at everything that he's got going on right now with coming back and other things that need to be done to get ready to prepare again, it's probably early fall. Maybe Nate Diaz putting hype into the Poirier fight was a plot to get McGregor to vie for the trilogy fight, although McGregor himself has other plans for his return." McGregor directly asked Twitter shortly after Oliveira's win over Poirier last December, "So what date am I fighting Oliveira?" And there's no reason the UFC would turn down such a titanic matchup with some symbolic storylines. Imagine McGregor smoking another champion in Brazil? Well, McGregor already had that thought too. Do you think Conor McGregor still has the star power to land himself into an immediate title shot with the winner of Gaethje and Oliveira? Or will the UFC opt for the trilogy fight, which may see more pay-per-view buys? Tony Ferguson is livid that he didn't receive any consideration as a replacement for the co-main event at UFC 272. Recently, news broke out of Rafael Fiziv's positive COVID-19 test, which resulted in a lightweight race to save the fight. A couple of notable prospects threw their name into the hat, including Terrence McKinney, Islam Makhachev, who damn near negotiated a welterweight bout with RDA, and even Renato Moicano, who is now confirmed to be Dos Anjos' new opponent at a catchweight bout of 160 pounds, and it's 5 rounds. As usual, Ferguson took to Twitter to air his grievances with the UFC. "We were offered to fight Rafael Dos Anjos on short notice for UFC 272. We were more than ready to step in and save the fight and perform. We were also ready to beat Fathead's primo Islam Makhachev this past weekend, but no call was received. Tough times. Champ shit only." Although Ferguson is already targeted to face Michael Chandler at UFC 274 in May, Ferguson felt that he still needed to prove that his last 3 fights are not representative of his desire to be elite. Nobody at this point doubts how tough and game Ferguson is, especially after not tapping through a Charles Oliveira armbar. But Michael Chandler is no easy task for anyone in this stacked lightweight division. Do you think Tony Ferguson still has what it takes to beat Michael Chandler? And last but not least, John McCarthy recently weighed in on UFC fighters' desire to leave the company despite being on winning streaks. Specifically speaking on Gegard Mousasi's decision to leave the UFC after going on a tear, McCarthy had this to say on the Weighing In podcast. He left on a 5-fight winning streak. Do you think the UFC wanted to lose him? They didn't want to lose him. It's also the way your deal is structured, you know? The UFC is very, straight up the line. They do a 50-50. You have a show and a win. That's a 50-50 split. So Gegard, let's be honest, he doesn't have a 50-50 split, okay? He gets paid when he gets paid, no matter if he wins or loses. That's a nice element for him that he doesn't have to worry about. He knows exactly what he's gonna make. It's no secret that fighter pay has been a hot topic recently, but Mousasi is one of an ever-growing migration of fighters to other promotions, looking for opportunities to fill their pockets. That about does it for Sportskeeda MMA's most exciting news from the MMA world. Here is one final question for you fight fans. Do you think the UFC will ever lose a reigning champion to another promotion due to more money? Maybe Ngannou will be the first. Don't forget to subscribe and follow Sportskeeda MMA on all our social media platforms. I'm Alex, and as always, thanks for tuning in.